Hi everyone, this is Donna. It is June 11th, it's Saturday, and I am coming to you to give you an update on how our stitching meetup went today and if I got any stitching done or not. Our stitching meetup was great fun. We had 15 people there, one of whom had shown up at the library because she had seen the advertisement that it was a class. And she came in with her project and stood in front of the group and said, "Hi, I'm new. I've been stitching a long time, but I have a pattern here that calls for some sort of stitching that I've never heard of." And she couldn't quite remember the name of it. So she said, "I don't know how to do this kind of stitching." And she brought it to me as I stood up to greet her and let her know I was be happy to help her try to find someone that could help her once I understood kind of what she needed. And it turned out what she was looking for was how to do 1/1 stitching. It was called Pet-a-Point in her pattern. It was an older pattern. It was a nativity scene. And all three faces were charted for 1/1. And she had done this on a little tiny count of even weave, and because it was ornament size, Christmas ornament size, about this big, and all three faces were 1/1. She, in all her years of stitching, had never seen 1/1 stitching on a pattern, didn't know how to do it. And she just took a chance that those of us who were at the library, that somebody there might know how to do it and teach her. So it was my day to teach today. I got to show a lady how to do 1/1 stitching, and it was great fun. She did a good job. I think she got the concept really well. The problem was she didn't have any magnifier apparatus with her. She didn't have any glasses, extra glasses. She just had her normal bifocals, and this was such a small size fabric that she could see it for 2/2, but she could not see it well for 1/1. So she would do her little stitch, and then she would ask me, you know, is it in the right place? Did I get it right? Every now and then she would do the stitch straight up instead of across to make the X, but only a couple of times. And I really think she got it, and she was excited about it, and she said she was going to go home and get her magnifier out, and she was going to try to finish those three faces before our next meeting next month, and that she was going to make a challenge for herself to be able to bring it back and show us that she had finished it. I think that was great, and I hope she's highly motivated to do that. So that was probably most of my morning. I worked with her from about 10 till noon, and she had color completed 3 colors by the time she left on one of the faces, which was really good considering how hard a time she was having trying to see everything. But she got the concept, I think, and then she said she had to go because she'd promised her husband she'd be done there by noon. So it worked out. I had her out on time. So then I sat down to stitch. And we have the library till 4:30. And in the past, most people start clearing out because of driving and wanting to avoid heavy traffic. They will leave about 3:30 usually. The latest I've had anybody stay was 4. But today we had 2 ladies that were thrilled to death to be coming together to stitch. One was a guest of a regular, and anyway, she was tickled to death that they were going to get to stitch together, and one of them brought 5 projects. She thought she was going to swap out every hour, and I think she stitched on the same project the whole time because she realized once she got to working on it, she was almost at a finish, and she wanted to stay there till she got it. So we were there till 4:30 today. It was great. I didn't want to leave anybody there by themselves, so 3 of us kind of hung out with them. Even when we kind of had packed up our things, we sat and talked for about 20 minutes till they finished up, and then we all left about 4:30. It was wonderful. In addition to that, I will tell you, my friend Donna had a finish today. Now, if y'all know Donna, personally know Donna, and have ever been to a retreat with her or a stitching meetup with her, she doesn't stitch very much. She visits and talks and sees what you're working on because, in her words, she can stitch at home. She wanted to visit. She wanted to spend time with people. But today, Donna was so close to a finish on one, and she was out of the floss that she needed to finish. And so she put out a little message in our Facebook group for the stitching meetup before the meeting, like the day before, and just asked if anybody had this color of floss, could they bring her 1/18-inch strand of it, because that's all she thought she was going to need to finish this project. Well, as it turned out, one of the ladies in the group had a skein and they brought it, and Donna was able to finish her project today. So Donna had a finish today. I'm so excited. That is a rare occasion, and for anybody to get a finish, and it was awesome that it was Donna. So I was really happy for her. So today I took something that I felt like would be easy for me to stitch on, and that is my By the Bay, the 13th Colony Bay, part 1. You know, I'm doing this series of 3 together on one piece. And the last time I shared this with you, I was at the beach, and I had been stitching on the tree, and I had a little panic moment that I was afraid my fabric that I may have miscounted, thinking it was 32, and this was appearing to be so large, I was afraid it was on 28 count. Well, the good news is I had plenty of room, and the best news is it is on 32. It just is a big piece. It's a big picture. The things are bold and big. So today, what I did was work on the tree, and I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I went all the way to the bottom so that I would make sure I had plenty of room on here. And as you can see, I do. I've got a good margin at the top and a good margin at the bottom, and that's all the width it's going to be. So that's awesome. Now, I stitched today 363 stitches. So I had put this down as a prompt in one of my my June monthly challenge in the closed Facebook group, and it was for the 9th prompt in that grouping of 10, and the prompt was for something to do with sports. So in this By the Bay pattern, you can see that there are sailboats, and I felt like they would do races in sailboats. I've actually been on an excursion before where we were the part of a crew on a sailboat that was racing, and our boat won. So I know what it's like to do that. And so that was how I met this prompt, was to say that these By the Bay would indicate water sports. You could do skiing and definitely do the sailing races, because there are sailboats on more than one of these pictures, so they could be in a race. And that's how I got it to meet the prompt. And with 363 stitches, I definitely had 300 that I needed. So I went ahead and posted that in the Facebook group today, and I am tickled to death about that, because that means for that particular challenge, I only have 3 prompts left. Now, interestingly enough, though, one of them is going to have to be a Teresa Wentzler. It can either be Mermaid or it could be Nativity. And since I'm really trying to work on getting that angel at least halfway done, it's probably going to be Nativity. And the reason it has to be one of those two is that the prompt is to stitch on something related to the number 2 or the number 39 or weddings. Well, I don't have any wedding samplers or wedding stitches going on right now, and I don't have anything to do with the number 39, but I have 2 ongoing whips by Teresa Wentzler. So I'm thinking it could be one of her 2, and that would meet the prompt. And then the other 2 prompts, one is going to be for longevity, something that shows longevity, and the other is supposed to be something to do with an accomplishment, to say what you've accomplished on something, or to talk about an accomplishment you've had in your stitching. I'm going to use pandemic for both of those, because for pandemic, longevity means it's going to be a long time before I finish this piece. I'm working on it in the long run. And then for number 10, which is my, show you something that you've accomplished. Well, pandemic is my journey piece for this year in my guild. And what I need to do is finish page 2 to get my journey piece. And I have to do that by September. So I felt like if I did 300 stitches for the first prompt and then 300 stitches for the second prompt, I'll be a lot closer to finishing page 2. So that's what I have left to finish the June monthly challenge. I don't know whether I'll get to do that tomorrow, but I certainly will be working on it in the coming week, so stay tuned for that. I hope you've had a great day today. I certainly have. When I was on my way home from the stitching meetup, I called my husband to let him know I was en route, and he let me know that some friends of ours back from where we used to live, one of his riding and hiking buddies, they do both together, and his wife had stopped by. They are looking in our area to possibly retire near here, and they had stopped by to talk to us about how we feel about Gainesville and talk to us about some neighborhoods and things like that. And they were on their way back home. They'd been up here looking at property, and so they were ready for dinner, and my husband and I were able to go out and have dinner with them and chat with them and catch up with them, and that was lovely. We hadn't seen each other, all 4 of us hadn't seen each other probably in about a year or 2. So that was good. That was really nice. What a pleasant way to end the day, right? And then I came home and I fully finished my ornament for my ornament exchange. So Cindy, it'll be coming to you on Monday. I'll be putting in the mail. I have videotaped a segment about it. I'm going to wait and share it with you when the ornament exchange is concluded. So I won't be sharing it with you tonight because I don't want to ruin the surprise for whoever's going to get it in case they watch my channel. But anyway, I did some finishing this evening and I am thrilled to have that done. It's due to Cindy by the 1st of July. And so I wanted to go ahead and get it in the mail. I don't know how long it'll take to get there. It may take several days, but I don't want to be pushing it too close. And so I've got it ready to take to the post office. I've got it all wrapped up, and I've got it in a Ziploc bag for security, so it doesn't get wet. And then I will put it in a mailer envelope on Monday and get that off to her. So yay, got that taken care of. I think that's my update for the day. A lot has gone on today. It's been a great day. And this morning I forgot to even mention walking with several ladies in the neighborhood on Saturday mornings. And today they got up even earlier than normal so I could walk with them because I had to go to the stitching meetup today and I couldn't walk at the normal time. So they all got up a little earlier and we walked this morning. And we walked a good ways. We walked about a mile today, so that was good. Several of these, 2 of the ladies are a bit older than I am, and they haven't been walking, and so this is new for them. I haven't been walking in a while. I used to walk quite a bit. I haven't been walking lately, so it was good to get back out there today. So anyway, I've had a red letter day. Thanks for letting me share it with you, and thank you for letting me share my stitching with you. And I hope you have a great week coming up. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Dina. It is Monday. It is June 13th, and I'm here with a stitching update for you. I have quite an update. I've had a wonderful day of stitching. It's been a busy day. I've had a lot going on today, so I'll give it all to you. But first, let's talk about the stitching part. I bit a big bullet today. I had several prompts this month that I wanted to use my pandemic for. And it wasn't necessarily just because I was trying to use it, it was because it really fit. I was using pandemic in the 24 hours of cross stitch. And for that one, let's see, it was for the I in Kit Up Your Joy. The I stood for in blue because my pandemic is in blue. And then I also used it for my June monthly challenge. This is the one that I have to do 300 stitches for. I used it for 2 of those, so I had to stitch at least 600 stitches to get both prompts in this one today. So I started this yesterday. I started working on Pandemic yesterday, and I did hit both of my June monthly challenges, which allowed me to count my 24 hours for cross stitch as well. But for the June monthly challenge, I had it for longevity because this was going to be a long-term project. And I also had it for number 10 in that series of 10, which said to show your progress on something that showed how far you've come, what you've accomplished, that sort of thing. And so I chose Pandemic because this year Pandemic was the whip that I chose for my guild, for my journey piece. And my journey piece goal that I set for myself this year was 2 page finishes, and our journey piece has to be turned in, as far as our progress on it has to be turned in by September. And so I was determined this month to try to get this as close to the finish of those 2 pages as possible. So getting those 2 prompts of 300 stitches each was going to put me in a good position. So then I decided my animal adventures. Pandemic is one of the projects that I put in there to stitch on to find my animals in my animal adventures. And you know, I like to try to stitch at least 300 per animal. It's in the same Facebook group though as my June monthly challenge, and they don't let you double dip. So you know what that means. I had to stitch another 300 stitches for every animal that I wanted to use this for. So between yesterday and today, I am very happy to tell you that I was able to use Pandemic for 4 of my animal adventures. So I have completed all 8 of them. And it's the 13th of the month. So, yesterday and today was awesome as far as progress. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how I did that today. I wouldn't have if it hadn't been for stitching with a group online, because they did the talking. I did very little talking tonight. I was on a mission. I was trying to finish that 2nd page, and I did. It's late. It's 11:30 at night, but it is still the 13th, and I got it done. So here is my Pandemic so far. This represents the first 3 pages because I had one completed at the beginning of the year. So far I've done these 2. And it looks to me, because I've got the border at the top all the way across, I'm thinking I've got at least 2 more pages, maybe even 2 and a portion, I don't know, in order to finish the top row. I'm not setting any goals for that this year. I have my journey piece completed. I'm so excited. I didn't make my journey piece last year. I didn't get it. I didn't get anywhere near it. So this year I tried to do something that was reasonable, and I did. So there's the first 2 pages for this year. This one I had when I got started. So that's my first 3 pages of Pandemic. And this is a variegated floss, just the DMC that I'm using, number 93. And I'm loving it. Just loving the way it's turning out. It's unfortunate that you can't see the details well when it gets this light, because that's a huge motif. It was the last one I finished tonight, and it's got a ton of detail in it, and you can't even really see it. But that's okay. I know it's there. You know, this one right here, it's variegated beautifully. And maybe you can see the detail a bit better in the camera's eye. But I'll be rolling it, stretching it with my sidebars again. I've taken everything down because I'm about to put it away. But here is Pandemic. It's my journey piece completed. it's my animal adventures completed for this month, and 2 prompts in the June monthly challenge, all in the last 2 days on pandemic. So I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so what's left? Well, looking at my trusty notes here, the next thing I have left to do will be to do 2 more prompts with 1 whip, which will be my Nativity. And the next one, the last one, is for the letter U. And so far I'm thinking that would be under the sea, which would be mermaid. That may or may not remain that. I've got all month to get it done, so that's okay. So I've set a couple of new goals. My first goal I finished today, and that was to finish my journey piece on pandemic, to finish page 2. Check. I've got it over here on my board. The next thing I want to do is work on finishing either my Crabapple Tree or going ahead and pulling Nativity and getting busy on that. So let's talk about tomorrow. I don't know if I'll get any stitching done tomorrow. I have a conversation with my sister Stephanie in the morning, and then right after that I have my 6-month checkup, physical with my doctor, and after that I'm picking up a cozy bowl that I had specially made for a friend of mine, looking toward Christmas, and it's ready, and I need to go pick it up from the lady who put that together for me. And so I won't get home tomorrow in time to stitch until after lunch. So we'll see. We will see how much stitching I get done tomorrow. I'm thinking with that, it may not be a good day to try to tackle the Nativity because I'd like to have a whole day open for that, but we shall see. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope you are enjoying the beginning of your week. I hope you're getting a lot of great stitching done. I've certainly done a good deal of stitching today, and I'm very excited about how far I've come. I still got some big goals for this month. Big goals. I want to really work on that letter T in the autumn bell pull. I need to push it forward. I got a lot of work to do on that one. So I'm probably not going to pick up any more prompts this month. I read the ones from Friday and I started to pick out what I was going to stitch for it, and then I stopped myself and just said, you know, you really wanted to do a middle of the year check. You've got some stitching you need to do to get where you want these whips to be, and you probably either need to use those and do penalty stitches, or you don't need to be doing any prompts. So I had a little pep talk with myself, pull myself back to try to make sure I meet my big goals that I want. And I haven't even hit the day on my calendar yet where I start my new start for Whipcoat, but that's coming. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy your stitching, everybody, until I have some more to share with you. Happy stitching. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is Thursday, June 16th, and I'm here with a wonderful update. I am thrilled to be able to share with you that I have a finish. I've been working really hard on this Crabapple Tree this month. I just decided with only 1 season left, it was just too close to a finish. And once I got all those fancy borders done this week, I just decided to throw caution to the wind, forget my schedule of what I was going to stitch, and finish it. So I have actually been working on Crabapple Tree now for 3 days. So I want to share it with you and tell you just a little bit about it. So here is, I'll back up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. just got it clipped to a board so that I can share it with you a little bit easier, so you can see the whole thing. This was a fabulous stitch. First of all, it was nice that it was gifted to me by my friend Marissa. She gifted me the pattern by Rosewood Manor, and she gifted me this beautiful hand-dyed fabric. This is 32 count Zweigart based linen, and Marissa hand-dyed it. I have a big piece of this. This is just a portion of it. And she had purchased it for herself and decided she wasn't going to stitch it, and thought that I might like it, and she sent it to me as a gift. And so I have finished it now. I started it January 1st, 2021. It was my new year, new start. So I've been working on it a year and a half to get it finished. I wasn't in any hurry. I didn't have a deadline for it until I just decided recently that I was ready to have it finished. It's 187 stitches by 187 stitches, and it is quite beautiful. I'll show it to you a little up close so you can see that white a little better. To the naked eye you can really see it, but on camera sometimes the glare makes it a little bit harder for you to see it. And the seasons are written in here. I think that's just so clever. This is spring, summer, and then autumn is spelled this way, and winter. So beautiful, just beautiful. Marissa, thank you so much for gifting this fabric and this pattern to me. It's all DMC floss. I think the border is beautiful. It's so lacy, just lovely. And the fact that each season has its own inter border that has colors for that season, and yet there are some colors that are in every block so that they all sort of run together. I'm excited about it. I'm thrilled to have it complete, and I'm so happy that I was able to do it before I start all those crazy starts in July. Oh, this is lovely. Well, you can see I just took it off the roller frame just a few minutes ago. I have not ironed it yet, but look how nice and neat the roller frame keeps your fabric. You can see where it was rolled up here on the end. But I'll press that now, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do about framing it. Isn't that beautiful? Well, thanks for letting me share it with you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so now I start my unkitting project, where I will put all of my floss back in my DMC container. And I have already posted my finish on my Stitch from Stash Facebook group, and put my little records, did all my little record keeping that I do. I take a card when I start a new project. I've shared this with you before, and I write on it the name and the designer, the fabric, the day I start and the day I finish. That's just in case I have to grab any of this pertinent information, in case people want to know who the designer is or what's that fabric you're using. This makes it really, really easy to grab. And then I have a new section in my calendar that I've shown you before, but it basically, I take a little picture off my little Kodak, well, it's a print. I print a picture off my phone, and I put it in my planner in my section of finishes. And so I have added in my latest finish, and it is number 25. So this is how it looks. See, there was the red threads I just did before that. So here's my little snapshot from my phone, and again I just copy over the information from my card, and then I have a notes section, and in this note I put that Marissa gifted me the pattern and the fabric, so I remember where I got that from. So I do that when I finish a project. And in this page, I actually have the number of hours because I do track my hours of stitching and on each project. And I generally do that on my calendar. I write down every day what I stitch and how many hours I stitched on it. So at the end of each month, I put those hours on a little page that I've made for each of my whips. And I'll show you what one looks like. Here's Winter Quaker. I put every date that I stitch, and then I put the total hours down. So when I finish a project, like I did today, I take my little card for my Crabapple Tree out of my book that's got all my dates on it and all my hours. I carried over from the previous page here, and I worked my way down till I finished it today. And that gives me my hours for my little record keeping that I'm doing that I will keep. Now these things I can throw away when I'm done with them, but you know, it's just how I'm tallying everything. And I made a separate page for each project so that I could move it around. I can add to it whenever I stitch on it, but then when I finish with it, I can move it out of the front where my current time is being recorded, and I can put it in the back out of the way. So that's why I have an individual page for each one. Plus, you never know how much room you're going to need for something, so there's no need to do it, you know, in sections and then run out of space. So it's just what I've done. I could do everything on a computer, on a spreadsheet, as I've mentioned before, but I don't have it up here. I don't have my spreadsheet up here. I don't have my computer up here. I just have my iPad up here, and I don't know how to use numbers. Jessie Marie, I need some tutoring on that. I don't know how to use numbers. I'm really good in Excel, but I don't know anything about numbers. And so I'd have to learn quite a bit to transfer it all over. That's my stitching for the day. Tomorrow, I am thinking that I may pull back out my Winter Quaker because I would love to finish that big motif that I've been working on and get that one accomplished. And then, once I finish that, I think probably sometime Saturday, maybe all day Saturday, I may get to work on Nativity. We'll see how much I can get done on that through Saturday. So those are my plans. I hope you have made some, and if not, just whatever you're in the mood for when you sit down to stitch. But I appreciate you letting me share my big finish with you. It was quite exciting for me. When I sat down today, I decided that I really felt like I could make it by the end of today, and I did. So that was very rewarding. So enjoy your stitching, enjoy those finishes, and until we have a chance to talk again, happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Friday, it's June 17th, and I'm here to give you my stitching update for today. Well, today I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I pulled out my Winter Quaker. Oh, there's a glare. Let me get you back here. And I am working on this very large motif right here in about the center of the piece. And I wanted to finish that motif because I feel like it's so big. I didn't feel like I was making a lot of progress every time I would stitch on a session on it. Even though I would stitch 300 to 600 stitches, I didn't feel like I was getting very far. So today, I spent some time on more than one section of my day when I could. I came up here and I stitched on this. So I am delighted to share with you that I did finish that motif. So I'll share it with you now. Isn't that beautiful? You cannot tell in the picture exactly how striking that is. I don't think. It's a good representation of it, but it's just not as striking to me. You don't see these corner pieces quite as well, I don't think, as you do in person. But anyway, lovely, lovely motif. It did take me 885 stitches to finish it today. But it's 9:30 at night. At least it's not midnight. And I got it done. So I'm very, very tickled with this. So if you're keeping track, I've had 2 really awesome accomplishments this week. I finished one big project, and then I got this big motif done. Now there's another quite large motif right next to it, and the bottom 3 are rather large. As you can see, we still got this fairly large one here. It's not quite as big as that one. And then you've got these 3, all of which, except for this one, are, you know, a little bit bigger than what you've been working on up here. So it just gets bigger as it goes. However, I think it's beautiful, and I am loving it. It is on the 28 count dwarf linen that is called for, because when I purchased this pattern and the fabric and the Valdani threads, it was a kit. It came all together, and I bought it while I was at a retreat. And I walked in the store and said, I'm looking for this. Do you have all of it? And they had it all kitted up. And so I grabbed it. Anyway, that has been my stitching for today. And I'm very excited about that. Now, I've been saying how excited I was that my son was going to come over and have dinner with us tonight. And he was very excited about it as well. I think he had planned to give his dad his Father's Day gift and all that tonight, but I got a message from him today. Something he ate at lunch, he either ate too quickly or he ate something that his little tummy did not do well with any longer. And he went into what they call dumping syndrome, which means your stomach dumps everything. So he was very ill. He was quite sick, very nauseous and throwing up and having severe cramping. It's not a pleasant experience to have that. It is a common experience once you've had the surgery if you're not careful. And I think he just forgot today. Maybe he was talking or visiting, or maybe in a rush at work. He just tried to eat too quickly, I think, and it backed up on him. And so he called and he said, you know, not feeling well, certainly can't eat. And I said, well, why don't we postpone till tomorrow and see how you're feeling? So I've got my fingers crossed that tomorrow night I will be able to have the dinner that I had planned for tonight. Last he texted me, he was feeling better, and he's planning on coming over tomorrow around lunchtime. He would like to go to some charity shops and you know, some secondhand stores with me to look around, probably just to see what's out there. I don't know if he's needing anything for his apartment or not, but I'm on a mission. I want to get a frame for Crabapple Tree. I'm going to see if I can find one. I don't know if I'll ever find one as beautiful as the one I just finished framing, but you know, I'd love to try. And so I'm going to measure that tomorrow, and if he gets to come over and we get to go to some of the secondhand shops, I will be looking for a frame. And so I'll have a mission. So that'll be fun. If you celebrate Father's Day, I hope you have a good one. I hope you get to honor your father of your family and let them know you love them. And otherwise, I'll come back again soon when I have more to share with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Donna, and today is Saturday. It is June 18th. I am very excited to be able to share my stitching with you today. I wasn't sure I was going to get that much stitching done because I had plans with my son today, but I can't wait to tell you about that as well. I am thrilled. I got a wonderful day today and I even got stitching in. So let's talk about the stitching first. Today was the day that I wanted to pull out Nativity. Several reasons. 3 prompts in 3 different Facebook groups. I was wanting to make sure I worked on it this month. And as you know, this is one of the pieces that I wanted to do a 6-month checkup on, where I wanted to make sure that I had the angel at least halfway done. Okay? So let's talk about it. This is where I'm at. So, I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. Today, I put 316 stitches in this wing right here. And I am tickled to death. This top portion, down to about right here, is completed. And this portion is coming down to the arm, is almost done. There's only like 3 colors left in there. And then this is the long part that goes down to the page break, which goes right across here. So knowing that there's only a small amount on either side of the page break, I am well on my way to finishing this angel this year. And I think that I can safely say I'm at least halfway there. I think this part of his wing here would more than be the stitching that it would take to finish over here. So the next time I work on this, it's time to do a hand here that's 1/1. I'm gonna go on down here and do the hand here while I'm working with those flesh tones. And then I will have what I need in here so that I can make sure I'm placing all these sections of the wings in the right spot. Then I also have noticed that the clothing for Joseph, the cloak and all, flows over here, and that wing actually comes down on that. So it may be that my half an angel might have to be down to the page break, because I would have to stitch so much of these people in order to finish those wings that I may have to amend that goal. That was sort of an realization today when I was working on it and looking at when I got down in here. I realized that on this side, his cloak and his body comes out this way, and it's over here, her body comes out this way, and that wing touches them. So I need to get them in place before I finish any more of that wing once I get to that page break. So once I get down to Joseph, who is right here, here's his hair, I need to go ahead and fill him in next. So I'll finish this wing as far as I can, and then I need to start working on people in the front. Pretty exciting, huh? So that changes my goal a little bit based on getting closer and looking at the pattern a little bit in more detail. But I am thrilled to death. This stitching today, hitting 316 stitches, allowed me to finish off the June monthly challenge that's in the closed Facebook group. It was my 10th and final goal to meet for that one, and that goal was stitch on something related to the number 2 or the number 39 or weddings. Well, my affiliation was the number 2 because this is one of 2 Teresa Wentzlers that I have on the go right now. And so I chose it for that reason, and I got the 316 stitches, so I got that one met. Then in my 24 hours of cross stitch, it stood for the key in the word kit up your joy. The T stood for Teresa Wentzler, and I had chosen Nativity to be that one. And then in my monthly magazine challenge, I had one letter remaining, and that was an A in floral, and I chose that to stand for angel. And I worked on the angel today. So 3 prompts with 1 whip. Yes, I love it when that happens. That is great, great fun. So now to let you know, that means I finished the June monthly challenge. I finished my monthly magazine acrostic. I have 1 letter left on my 24 hours cross stitch for this month, and that is the letter U, and right now I'm saying that stands for under the sea, and that means mermaid. So I'm hoping to do that one. So we'll see. I say right now it stands for that because if I get toward the end of the month and I haven't been able to get to her, I will find out something else that you can stand for that I have stitched on in the meantime, and I'll swap it out. I love it that you can do that. I do these prompts as a way to motivate me to stitch on multiple whips, but I don't want it to stress me out. So if I have to swap something out toward the end of the month to make it work, as long as it's, fair and I'm not using it, double dipping when I'm not supposed to, that kind of thing, I let it roll. So, okay, that's that. So I will let you get back to what you were doing. Thanks for letting me share my stitching. Today I am tickled to have gotten that much done on Nativity and to see that much progress on it. I can really tell a difference, and I'm excited about it. If you would like, I will go ahead and put in, just so you can see it too, I'll put in a picture here of where it was when I started on it today. And just a reminder, this is where I got to, so I think you can see I'm making a good headway on that wing. So, next time I have something to share with you, I'll be right back here to share it and to talk with you about my stitching and my goals and my plans and all of that. So, thanks for letting me share Nativity with you. I hope you've enjoyed it, and it's a beautiful piece. Until next time, everybody, happy stitching. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is Tuesday, June the 21st. Today, I got up. I got busy stitching. I had a wonderful talk with my sister Stephanie, and then I stitched again, and I stopped just briefly to do lunch with my husband, and I stitched again until time to cook supper. And now it's after supper, not long after supper. It's not too late tonight, and I am ready to give you an update of what I have been stitching on for the last 3 days. So I had mentioned that the month of June I was going to do a mid-year check on some of my projects that were annual goals. And one of those was my Nativity, which I just showed you in a previous segment, that I got a lot of work done on it, and I now can pretty confidently say it's at least halfway there, and I should be able to finish that angel by the end of the year. I feel comfortable about that anyway. The second one that I really wanted to work on was Autumn Bell Pull. And Autumn Bell Pull has 6 letters in it, and June is the 6th month of the year. So if I'm giving myself a couple of months to get a letter done, then I needed to be halfway through the Autumn Bell Pull if I wanted to finish on it this year. And I would like that because I've already carried it over from last year. So I don't want to do that again if I can help it. So I'll remind you what my Autumn Bell Pull looks like. And this is the tee that I was working on. And on the first day of this time that I was stitching on it, I did everything on this side of the tee. And then on the second day, I got about halfway across here. And then today, I finished all of this and did the lettering and wrapped it up. So I have finished my letter T. Let me share it with you, tell you a little bit about it. I don't think you can really take everything in at a first glance, because until I stitched this, I didn't know those pieces of fruit, that pear and that apple, were actually hanging from the letter. I think that's really clever and cute. And then, of course, you've got your grapes and your gourd. And I think this is another either squash or gourd. Y'all have to help me with that. And then here's, pumpkin. And I'm thinking that that is either bell pepper. Looks like a bell pepper to me. Anyway, give me your thoughts on that too. If you think that's a bell pepper, or if you think that's another apple, or whatever you think that might be. So that's the fall part. Of course, here's the wheat up here. Lovely. This is an interesting Stoney Creek. It doesn't have a lot of back stitching other than the lettering. There's just a little bit of back stitching in it, and that's unusual for a Stoney Creek in my experience. But what it's doing though is, it instead of back stitching, it is doing all the shadows and shading with different colors. So there's a lot of colors in everything you do. There are 3 or 4 colors in this vine. It's amazing, but it looks good. Look at this leaf in particular. Look at the vine, the veining rather in the leaf, and then of course the stem. The different colors in the stem really make it look like a stem. It's beautiful. That means those 2 checkups are done. They're completed. This Saturday, I'm very excited because I get to go to Hawk Run Hollow with my friend Donna. Haven't been able to go the last couple of times they've met. I've either been out of town, at the beach, or on a cruise or whatever, but I haven't seen them in a while, and so I'm excited to go. I've put off working on my Hawk Run Hollow this week because I'll get to work on it Saturday. So that'll be great. I'll enjoy that. I'll enjoy that a great deal. So that's it for my evening tonight for my report. I'm gonna say goodnight for the evening, and in fact, I think I'm gonna shut down this this vlog and go ahead and put it together, because I'm trying to keep it under an hour, and I guess I talk too much about what I'm doing. I'll have to look at that, but I just hope you're having a great time stitching. I do have a couple of things about Coco at the end. One of them is her running and playing catch with my husband. We have a very large church down the road from us, not too far, less than 5 minutes away, called Free Chapel. And they have a huge parking area that has green spaces all around them and through them. And so there's one long span of grass that's fairly narrow, and it's up on the bank of a hill, kind of on the end of their parking lot, the edge of the parking lot. And so it keeps her fenced in a little bit, but we can let her run freely. And my husband and I took her over there recently, Sunday I think it was, and we threw the ball to her and let her run back and forth until she just got tired and she laid down in the grass. She was done. The other one that I have for you about Coco is on a walk with my husband, and she met a turtle. I think it may be the first turtle that she's met. I'm not sure. It seemed to be, because she was quite curious about it, but a little afraid of it at the same time. But it's cute to me, and I wanted to put it in and let you see her making her new friend. A turtle. Loved it. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you've had a good start to your week of stitching, since it's Tuesday today. I don't know when you may be watching it, but it's Tuesday for me. And I've kind of gotten off schedule on these videos. I used to try to put them up on Sunday, and this last one, I'm not sure. I think it may have gone up on a Wednesday or something, because it was just, I had enough, you know, I had enough to almost make an hour. And so I just wanted to go ahead and stop this one now because I hope that it will be under an hour, and because I want to put Coco's footage in there. I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're happy and well and enjoying your stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Good night.
Wow, can't keep up with her. Good girl.
There she goes. Hey, we'll do it again.
Good girl.
That's a good girl. Now you can hit it just down. Now you can. Got that, Mom. Here we go. You ready? Drop your ball. Drop it.
Good catch.
All right, you catch your breath now. Ooh. Oh. All right, did you catch your breath? That's a good girl. All right, you catch your breath. I see you eating the dirt again. We'll start again. Uh-oh.
I love it when she plays by herself.
Get away from me. Get your breath. Happy girl.
She is a happy girl.